una manga. Yo, manga business. This is manga business. Yeah. Because she will not be eating like a spring onion. Go Dimo, leko fatshe. Some of those guys that you see very sweet, and I'll even say it for girls too, because both quiet, both sweet. We went to school with them. We know some of them. These skeletons. Mihwa. Yabona. Worst. Like, and I'm sorry to say this, but it must be said. This is a great case study, I think, of somebody running around playing at being a man. Because liar, pants on fire. You know, he just happened to find himself in love. I can't remember what he said in Zulu. I wish I could because it was just nyos. But the direct translation is, he made a mistake and he just happened. Giddy, 1 2 1 2. Usematandwin. Black women, beautiful. Beautiful. You don't even have to go far away to find a beautiful black woman in this country. Woo! Sibaningi. We are there. The baby hairs. The baby hairs, or as Alexandra Rogers says, they are adult contemporary because they're not even baby anymore. They have aged. They are here by our eyebrows. However, if you are coming in, girl, swinging koro bricks, and Oshapapa Tukaditena who are already there, then I think it's also a bit naive to have the expectation that like the family is just going to accept you with loving arms. Dulas is sitting there as these two women are scratching each other's eyes out, saying, can't we all just get along? Ganjani Dulas, what have you done to facilitate people getting along? What have you done? Name one thing. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Rakadi's Views with me, Rakadi Watsona. I am here to give you episode 2. We're reviewing Mnakwethu Happily Ever After ? And I'm going to start off this review by saying that I have notes today, guys. Okay, so because I watched parts of last week's review while I was editing it, and I realized that there were a couple of details I missed out. I was just mixing up people's names, and like in the name of transparency, Rakadi Waizuking PMS, it was just roughing me up a little bit. So I decided to take a little bit of herbal, what do the white girlies call? Plant allies. Okay, I was indulging in some plant allies for the pain. And it was great because it helped me to just, be able to ride the wave and manage some of the things we have to manage as women. But I realized that there were some details, Molanyana details here and there that 2 plus 2 kill. So today I'm coming in a little note. I am ready, guys. I was feeling very exhausted and deflated, but as soon as I started watching the episode, energy, energy. This big bubble fan. Okay, let's focus. Otherwise, we're going to get to an hour of a review of me just singing jingles. So if you've never been on this channel before, welcome, guys, to Rakadi's Views. This is where I do long form reviews of reality TV shows that I enjoy watching. We do these reviews and watch these shows, obviously, because and we're entertained by people's lives. But first and foremost, so that we can learn from the people who are brave enough to put their business in the streets on television for our consumption. And if you are returning to the channel, welcome back. So yes, I have decided that I'm going to review Mnakwethu. I'm definitely going to be watching it myself. So I was like, yes, let's review because there's just so much for us to talk about entertainment-wise and just delulu-wise. So get strapped in, get a drink, sit down, play this on loudspeaker while you're running your errands, and let's get into it. So episode 2 opens. Oh wait, guys, please like, subscribe, Lord, share. Ooh, kyalibala, wheezy. I don't think I can ever just get used to this content creating thing. But really, guys, please, we are trying to get Rakhadi to 1,000 subscriptions and my 4,000 watch hours so a girl can get monetized and just start getting some coin for my hard labor and for the entertainment that I give you, even though I enjoy it. And this is my creative outlet. Randelas on the side would be fabulous. So please, if you have not subscribed, please click the subscribe button. You can go ahead and also click the notification bell button so that you will know when I've uploaded a new video and we can just laugh and cackle and giggle together. Fabulous. Episode 2. Let's get in. So, episode 2 opens up with Samantha. What is it called? Yeah, Samantha's there and she's sitting with her aunt, who is like her aunt slash Gobela that we were introduced to, I think 2 seasons ago. I think even the aunt was there season 2. And so they're having a bit of a catch up in the yard. Samantha Artomaka equation for her aunt of, if I was, let's just say, to hypothetically get back together, Lekondanisa, what would you say? Karaoke, Samantha, you have at least let us know what your intention is for this season, which is to make television. Because there's no way after season 3 ended the way that it did, you are going to be sitting here in front of cameras in South Africa trying to make us believe that you truly and honestly want to get back together with this man. But fine, we are making TV, you're going to entertain us. Let's, aretse motswako so that we can film a season. Listen, I'm open to being entertained. Is the storyline for real? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Anyway, Auntie's eyes are also just here because she's just like, what are you telling me? As I advised in the last review, guys, please go and watch season 3 if you haven't, because that's going to give you context. There are going to be holes in the story that you don't understand. Because Auntie was there in season 3 fighting Samantha's wars there. She was taking on 3 men from Kondanisa's family, trying to justify Samantha, who was married to Kondanisa, having a baby by another man. And she fought there, and she was a warrior, and she was a soldier. I mean, not really taking accountability for the things that were done, but she was standing up, for her family member and doing all of these things. So now, when Auntie's being told by Usamantha that, yes, and I'm gonna call her Samantha. For those who are not old enough to know Bophelo ke Semphego, I was just like, Samantha. So now that I have the opportunity to just say Samantha in relation to a black person, that is what we are going with. So Auntie is not buying the story and she asks Samantha, like, for real, girl, like, for real, for real. Number one, are you done with Utiez, who turned out to be the real baby daddy? Are you done with him? And she's like, no, there was nothing that was actually happening with Utiaz. It wasn't like a potential relationship or whatever. Auntie's like, okay, so does that mean like you really, really want to get back with Kondanisa, or is there somebody else that you're seeing? Then Samantha proceeds to tell us that no, kunomuntu in the background. Give us the TV. Give us the entertainment. We are here for it, girl. We are here for it. That part of the storyline, maybe I can believe that, like, yeah, no, there is somebody else. Getting back with Kondanisa. Anyway, she tells us that, yeah, there's somebody else in the picture. So how can there be somebody else in the picture? And then you're also going to open the scene up with, what if I got back together with Kondanisa? Like, we just know it's going to be a dumpster fire. But we will be there. Lights, camera, action to record. And we will be watching it. Let's see how the season's going to pan out. Samantha says she hasn't seen Ukondanisa in 9 months, hasn't seen or spoken to him in 9 months, which is probably not so long after, I presume, the show wrapped. And it was exposed that Ukondanisa was not the baby daddy, and Diaz, who was the real baby daddy, stood up. So we also find out that Samantha's cousin Ujuba, that Kondanisa had impregnated, has probably popped out a baby now. Samantha doesn't have a picture to show us, but from her laugh, I don't know what that means. So I would like a picture somewhere along the line so we can see gore ngwana ke photocopy wa papa and is Kondanisa really the father? We don't know. Anyway, the aunt is like, listen, at the end of the day, Diaz needs to go and pay damages to Ukondanisa's family for basically impregnating you because you are his wife, their wife, the family's wife, um, and he needs to pay damages. Usamanta was like, no, Diaz is not about that life. Like, he's not going to do something like that. Then the aunt was like, okay, so at this stage, you need to take me back to meet Kondanisa's family because I need to go and apologize for the situation and how things have worked out. I need to go and apologize on your behalf for this mess, basically. Like a mess, And Auntie was there. She was fighting last season. She was being a soldier, for her niece and her twasa. And now it's just Sazo left and right. So at least Auntie wants to go and make amends. But Usamanta's like, those people are gonna cuss you out like they did the last time. Auntie was like, no, we'll do it at Malume's place. And from season 3, um, Samantha's uncle is actually a very calm, level-headed person. That is the person that you need in the negotiations. Because last season, where things went left is when Samantha's aunt slash Gobela went by herself to go and talk to them Zulu men, and it was just fireworks, little firecracker. So that wasn't working out. Cool. Next scene, we've got Dulas. Hey, Dulas Sibatung. Binga of the nation. He is the meeting up with his girlfriend and potential fourth wife. And I stress fourth wife because number one, we found out at the end of the episode last week that Umadlamini had passed away in August of this year, which I think is probably when they had wrapped with filming. And even though Madlamini, I think she left Dulas because she could just see Nyaga Takantsuke Engwe. She saw it. Season 2, I think she exited stage left. But for all intents and purposes, as far as I know, they were not officially divorced. So even in her passing, I think by the time she passed, they were still married. So she is the first wife, as far as I'm concerned. If they have divorced and somebody knows, please let me know. I stand to be corrected. But anyway, he's gone to meet his girlfriend. She's 23 years old, dark beauty, beautiful. Guys, where are these Zulu men finding these? Wait, where are they finding these beautiful women? Or maybe it's just wait. So one of us said, guys, we are beautiful. We are black women, beautiful, beautiful. You don't even have to go far away to find a beautiful black woman in this country. Woo! Sibaningi. We are there. They are looking gorgeous. Anyway, Tamsile is there. They're having a little meal. Dulas tells her that no, he wants to introduce her to Umashozi and Umamhlongo. Is she ready? She says yes. She's keen. She can do it. She says from the jump, Dulas told her that he has Istembu and she knew about it. So at least this one's going in with her eyes wide open. But also she's 23. I'm not really sure what she knows about life and relationships, how much, but she says Utabisile that she feels that Umamhlongo's the wife that she can respect because when Dulas is with Umamhlongo, he never answers her calls, and I don't know, somehow that indicates to her that, I don't know, Mamhlongo commands respect. Anyway, she says she's ready for the Stembu life, as long as Udulas is going to give her the things that she wants. And one of those things that she wants is for him to start a driving school business for her so that she can run that. Dulas tells her that no, that's something small. Amanza mancane, he can do it. Time will tell because For Umam she had to wait a very long time for that car wash. And I'm not really sure if that car wash is still like running and operational. It is only episode 2, but we haven't really seen much of that business. And even that opening ceremony, yako season 3 of that car wash was also just looking very lackluster. I don't know. Anyway, he says he could do this for her. He tells her that he's not in this for Umjolo. He's very serious now. He intends to marry her. He's not playing games anymore. She smiles, happy cheers, lovers together. It's great. Then we see Umam Hlongo. She goes to the park with an aunt of hers who I think lives in the same area. And for Mam Hlongo, this is the chance for her gore apodle and talk about, the things that she's been going through. And she feels that this aunt is somebody that she can talk to because she's older. And I think she's a pastor's wife or she's a pastor. Anyway, the aunt is like, listen, girl, I've been seeing that, like, it looks like you've been going through a lot. A lot has been happening in your life, and you don't really speak and talk about it. So, cheka, or, sister, poda, let me be a shoulder. And, the aunt is also like, Dulas has a lot of wives. So perhaps, he's not giving her the TLC and the attention that she needs in order to speak up and just talk about the things that she's going through. Mam Hlongo tells her aunt about the miscarriage that she had. So Mam Hlongo's like, literally, the relationship was much better between her and Dulas when she was pregnant, and then he initiated Mahadi, Alopatela Mahadi, Lobola was done. And so she then had the miscarriage, and she tells the aunt that she hasn't even told Dulas yet. We find out that Mam Hlonga actually has not told anybody because the aunt is also shocked. This is news to her. Nobody else in the family knows about this miscarriage. So Mam Hlonga's basically been keeping this, very devastating thing to herself for so long. The aunt is shocked. And the aunt, you could tell, feels really bad for her that, like, you've been weighed down by all of this. And so Mam Hlongo is basically saying that, because things was going so well, because I was pregnant and Lobola was then happening because I was pregnant is the subtext that I'm putting in there. She doesn't know how he's going to react, Utulas, if she tells him now about the miscarriage. And unfortunately, it's understandable because I think there is a lot of distrust, and this relationship between Umam Hlongo and Dulas is a very insecure and unstable relationship. I think always has been from the moment that camera started rolling and Mnakwethu was a thing. Um, because yeah, I don't think she's ever really had any sort of security. And how could you have, because you came in as a girlfriend to a man who had a wife and children, and then we see his pattern of dishonesty and lying and not telling the truth and misunderstandings and lack of accountability and emotional unavailability and a lot of other things. So yeah, I think maybe for the most part, without the baby, maybe she feels then like, what do we have and what is the relationship going to look like? And I think I just felt really bad for Umam Mhlongo in this scene because we find out that also two of her brothers um, are no longer, in her life. And I say that because she says her younger brother, he went to work one day and then never came back. So I don't know for sure if that means he's passed on or he's a missing person. Um, and then she says her older brother, who was the one that we saw in season 3, who wanted nothing to do with Dulas, said he wasn't going to help her to speak to their father so that they can accept Makadi. Older brother didn't say shit for Dulas, okay? Saw through him, saw him for what he was. It was a toxic and abusive relationship, and he told her straight to her face. So very unfortunate that older brother of hers was shot and he passed on. So she's actually just dealing with so much loss and grief, and she even admits, Umam Mhlongo, that she's depressed. She's like, I can even admit it. I am depressed with what's going on. I think this is the first time this conversation with her aunt that she's spoken to anybody about it. And so yeah, I feel very, very bad for her. She's going through a really tough time. And unfortunately, I think she's with a partner, now husband, who just does not have the emotional bandwidth to support her. He just doesn't seem like an emotionally available person. Um, and I think she probably knows that too. And I think that's why she hasn't shared a lot of her inner struggles with him. I'm not condoning that because obviously it's better if you can be open and honest in the relationship. But as I said, this relationship, hey, nena le mathata and a lot of toxicity for a very long time, on both their parts, on both their parts. So yeah, I just, I don't know if she's going to find the support that she's really looking for because, as we can see in the rest of the episode, Utulas is focused on locking down wife number four. Like, that's his mission. He's being fruitful and he wants to multiply. But we never know. Maybe if she does tell him, he might even surprise me. We'll see. But she definitely needs some support, and some love. And I hope that the show even just provides her, some counseling and stuff that she can, access and just help her through what she's going through. Shame, she's going through a lot. Then we see Pindile. Pindile is Sandiso's wife. So Pindile, she meets up Liskwiza Sahaye, which is Usandiso's sister. So her sister-in-law, I'm still unsure whether Pindile is really married to Usandiso or like married as in Khutswile dikgomo, things happened there, Nyongo, etc., etc. If anybody knows, please tell me. But for now, I'm just gonna keep calling her Pindile because it doesn't seem like she's ma whoever whoever. So I don't know if she's officially married. So Pindile is inviting his squeezer around to find out like what is the situation with the rest of the family. Did these people know? Was I blindsided? She wants to know what's the tea. So sister-in-law comes in looking cute. Just as a side note, and I'm sorry, sister-in-law, that like you're catching a stray here, but just to the women of the world, guys, the same way that these ridiculous butterfly eyelashes had us in a chokehold, and then now we don't see them anymore. Thank God. The baby hairs, the baby hairs, or as Alexandra Rogers says, they are adult contemporary because they're not even baby anymore. Di godile. They have aged. They are here by our eyebrows. When this just trend loses its chokehold on the female black population around the world, because it's not just South Africa, prayers up, guys. Please, please, for the baby head. Khatetsu. People are doing too much. It looks. Anyway, we're not here for that. So they're sitting down. Sister-in-law tells Pindile that, like, no, girl, Lina, I found out after the fact. People were sending me videos after this episode aired. We knew nothing about, our brother. I knew nothing about my brother having a child. Knew nothing about this girlfriend. And she's like, at the end of the day, as family, we can't force him to do anything. He's making the decisions that he wants to make. And I can respect Uskwiza because she told Upindile upfront that, like, as much as I love you and as much as the family loves you, you can tell they have a very close relationship, Pindile and the sister-in-law. Squeezer says, as much as I love you and the family loves you, we also need you to know that the potential sister-in-law, Mnakwethu, potentially who's coming in, we also have to be open to her and we also have to give her a chance. And that for me, it might not be what Pindile wants to hear, but it's fair because if anybody was to put themselves in the shoes of potential second wife, you would also want to be given a shot and a chance, if you're entering a family for people to get to know you. However, if you are coming in, girl, swinging koro bricks, and Oshapapa Tukaditena who are already there, then I think it's also a bit naive to have the expectation that like the family is just going to accept you with loving arms. The only exception that I can give in this particular case, this case, is that what ooh, potential second wife, I forgot her name. Sorry, guys. What was it? Zanella or something? I don't know. Anyway, she says that Sadiso mentioned nothing about a wife, and she only found out that he was in another relationship when she was already 4 months pregnant. So, as unpalatable as I think it is for some women to hear, really what was her alternative or her option in that situation? Because she was in love, she wants to be with this person. This person is then, we don't know what sweet nothings he was whispering into her ears, kadi pillow talk. But if he's telling you that he's going to marry you and is Tembu, he's about that life, and now you've got this child, Lena, she's going to want a happy family. How realistic she is in terms of the timeline of that happy family and if it's actually going to happen, because unfortunately she's dealing here with just a liar usandiso, guys. Oh, una manga yo, manga business. This is manga business, yeah. um but anyway, we are digressing. But yeah, Squeezer tells Pindile that like we're gonna have to, welcome her with open arms and give her a chance. Pindile says that like yes, in her diary session, I can see here that I don't really have an ally, and at the end of the day, blood is thicker than water. She thought Squeezer would be standing by her side and be able to fight for her when it comes to the family, but blood is thicker than water, and blood really is thicker than water. And let that be a reminder to all of us, men and women, but especially women, when you are marrying into a family, but also men, anybody who's marrying into a family, it is wonderful when those people can open up their arms and love and accept you as a family member, as a new daughter or a new son. And it's really wonderful, and that's great. But don't ever forget that you don't share blood with these people, guys. And when there are going to be situations where the rubber is hitting the road and the gooby and the temperature is on high stofu iliko 6 in terms of the problems you are facing, the family for the most part is probably going to side with their blood relative. You are very lucky if you find a situation and a case where the family can still call the other person out, which, in this case it seems like sister-in-law is like, listen, we are shocked, we can't believe what's happening. I don't know if they called him out in that way, but they are definitely, at least saying that like this person went against the grain in terms of what he was doing. But they're still going to support their family member. And sometimes that will be at odds with what you want as a spouse or with what you think is right. Kimadi. Anyway, next we have the comedic segment of Utulas and his two wives, Umashozi and Umamhlongo. And actually, I mean, even the music and the sound effects in the background, it was just those sound effects, some of Tom and Jerry, tsa di Popeye. Wait, the producers will launch you guys. Launch. So they have positioned these three as just like, well, particularly in the scene, just Popeye, but three. So Dulas invites Umashozi out. He's holding her there by her little finger. Ke lavazi, bakotshisa nyama. Asking her, isn't she happy that he's taken her out? And she's like, I know when he takes me out, there's something that he wants to talk about, because this Negro doesn't just invite me to places. Something is going on. And what is going on is that Umamhlongo then arrives, and it is clear that Dulas briefed Umamhlongo about we're having a family meeting. Mashozi, unfortunately, was the last to know. Sorry for you, girl. Hi. Dulas then says no, he's brought them together because he wants to tell Mamhlongo that he's already spoken to Mashozi, and she knows that, he lobolad her, he took out the cows, and that she's pregnant. And I think Dula's telling Mashozi about Mamhlongo's pregnancy is what triggers her, because she's asking, did she ask you, or like, did you offer that information? Why are you offering her the information? Why are you telling her my business? And we can understand as the audience, because we know that she's now had the miscarriage. But I think, in her mind, it's basically that she knows she has had the miscarriage. These two people don't know that. And now she's going to have to, at some point, divulge this information. And because of the way that this thruple, temporarily until Utabisile comes in officially. But the way that this thruple has been set up, and I say it's a thruple because Umadlamini had exited stage left. So physically she's not involved in this. But the way that they had set up this relationship, it is a competition. It's always been competitive between the women, because Dulas sets it up so that these women are at each other's throats. And so Mamhlongo, you can see it touched her on her studio that, like, Mashozi now knows my business. Hi, they start beefing. The ladies, guys, I'm not even going to get into the back and forth of the arguments that were coming out. But essentially, Mashozi believes that she is superior to Mamhlongo in every single way. She's like, girl, I overtake you in all the ways. Mashozi is talking about, Mamhlongo might be pregnant, but, I was the person who was lobolad first. So that makes me the first wife. Sorry, girl. The first wife was Umadlamin. Please don't forget it. Don't forget, guys. There's an actual other first wife. You might have come in and been lobolad before Mamhlongo, which also in itself was just a lot. But I think it was because there was a baby that we also just saw. I mean, the introduction that we had, just to give you a bit of background, to Umashozi, was that Dulas was having umsebenzi back home in Makai. Madlamini, Mamhlongo, go to his family homestead. Ning Ningy, Madlamini is like, there's a girl, this particular rondavel is locked. And there's a girl that I think I'm seeing through the window. Mamhlongo, because she's just like the scorer who will do what needs to be done. Bang it down the door. And who's behind the door? It's Umashozi with a whole baby, a whole infant. Or Anakhalidi washing, there we are seeing the Leiri, the Anaile, and baby clothes on the washing line. That's how they found out about Umashozi. And then she was lobolad because there was this child who was there. Stupid argument between these two ladies, which for me, number one, if we're going to have a discussion, this is why Istanbul is not a game for young girls. It's not. You're just emotionally, mentally, we are not mature enough to be dealing with what needs to be dealt with. And I'm prefacing this by saying that the way Dulas put this setup together, nyols and nonsense, just nonsense. There's nothing about relationship building in the way that Dulas has put this arrangement together. So I'm going to start there. Also, where are the elders to be leading the way and to be lying people and to be showing us how we build this relationship? It doesn't seem like they are also there. So this is really free for all of three young people just trying to mix masala. Also, guys, are we not so young to be having such complex, complicated relationships where you're dealing with such heavy things? I don't know. Maybe now I was sheltered, but like, these people look like they're in their early 20s. Like, this is heavy stuff to be dealing with. But I don't know. Kim Jolo, 2000. Is this how it goes now? That like when you're 23, you're just dealing with these things that maybe were dealt with by people in their 40s and 50s. I don't know. It seems like a lot. But anyway, Istanbul is not a game for where everybody involved is young. Because you'll have these stupid arguments where every time we get together, one thing is said and then it's set off. I mean, it was such a ridiculous argument. Number two, Even Mamhlongo's like, why are we even fighting about positions? Mashozi, what does it matter if you're number one or you're number two? Because this man has set it up so that you guys still continue to fight over him. And I don't even, and man, I'm just, loosely, has set it up so that you guys are constantly beefing. Does it matter if we're all in the circus, what number you're coming in? Does it matter? Because everybody on the stage, in a spotlight, at the circus. So does it matter if you came out first, second, or third? Does it matter? Anyway, Mam Hlongo says for her, she doesn't feel that it matters. Dulas is sitting there as these two women are scratching each other's eyes out, saying, can't we all just get along? Ganjani, Dulas. What have you done to facilitate people getting along? What have you done? Name one thing that you have done that is about building relationships between the, because simply inviting people to sit around the same table or inviting them to be in the same room is not enough for them to actually build a relationship with each other. Which once again is also going to bring me back to another topic of discussion when we are talking about Istanbul, because I had this conversation with another friend of mine whilst we were watching it. What is it? Utando des Tembu. The idea that women seem to have that I'm just here for this man and nothing else matters is also very problematic, because you're not just in a relationship with this person, you're actually in a relationship with all of the other people that are in relationship with the man that you're saying you're in a relationship with. If we could all just understand that, yes, the degrees of separation are different, but you're actually going to have a relationship of some kind with these other people. And so I think some women think if I just put it to the side and tell myself, she doesn't matter, I'm the only thing that matters, and my relationship with this man is the only thing that matters, this is the situation that you get, because you're not investing any time or energy into actually building a relationship, even if it's just for civility's sake. Because Umam Hlongo in the scene was constantly telling us, hi, she doesn't care. Dulas can do what he wants to do, because Dulas tells them he's bringing Utabisile into the picture. He just happened to find himself in love. I can't remember what he said in isiZulu. I wish I could, because it was just nyos. But the direct translation is, he made a mistake and he just happened. Giddy, 1 2 1 2. Usematandwin. Tabisile is now in the picture. And Mam Hlongo's like, now I've told myself, at this point, I don't care. No mayin. Yenza no mayini, that's what she said. And it's okay, Mam Hlongo, you can tell yourself that, because maybe that's what you need to tell yourself to survive. But it is also evident from your behavior and your body language that you actually do care. But Mam Hlongo, I'll give it to you, she is dealing with bigger things in her life emotionally than Dulas's new girlfriend. She's going through a lot. But, we're going to see how this is all going to work out. But Uma shows it, Mamhlongo, like, fine, we'll meet this person, bring her, let's see what it's about. Then next we see Mamkunu goes to visit Samantha at her food container. It was like a very fluffy scene. Nothing much was happening. Mamkunu tells her that Kondanisa came, talking about I'm a love baggy, and she wouldn't let him into the house. She talks about how she doesn't appreciate, him going to the media and speaking about them and the nature of their relationship, and putting their names, well, her name in particular, Mamkunu's name, in his mouth when he's talking to these tabloids. It's not something that she's here for. But yeah, nothing much really happened. They slapped 5. And Mamkunu was like, she's not taking Ukondanisa back at all, because she will not be eaten like a spring onion, so that he can finish her of all of her resources, and as she said and gave an example, bury her under his bed. She's not about that life. So I think Mamkunu, as I said in the last review, She is here to shoot a TV show and collect her check. But yeah, I don't think I would be very shocked if she ended up with this man. But you know, women have also just ippy ippy. People will leave you shocked. So, as Brandy said, never say never. But I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked, yeah. Anyway, the last scene, Usandiso goes to go and visit his brother, Ntogozo, his elder brother. He says when he's walking in there that he's going to see his older brother to get advice about how to handle the situation with his wives and generally his life. I'm stressing that point because he said he was going to get advice. Sits down, tells the brother that, listen, you know the situation that I have a child now. Brother's also like, hey, brah, we all found out on TV and we were shocked that you didn't even come to any of us as family and tell us what was happening. Re bona ko di TV, gore there's a girl now and that there's a baby. So, you know, shock horror for us. Sandiso says that he hlaulad the baby and he didn't tell the first wife, Umamkulu. So his brother Ntogos was like, that was a mistake. Like, that was a mistake. You should have told her. Then we find out in Sandiso's diary session that he admits that he told absolutely nobody from his family, from his elders. I don't know if there are parents that are still alive. He didn't tell Umamkul. He told nobody. So I don't even know the Hlauling who went there on his behalf, because now we hear stories of, you know, guys being out here, bathola di rent a friend, ba tlhabaka di black, nyana case ya blacky, and some whiskey and a 500 rand, and please can you guys come and pretend to be my uncles and my cousins and my family members. I'm not saying he did that, but that's what's happening in the streets. So if none of his family knows about this, I don't know who the delegation was. But Sadiso openly admits that he told absolutely no one about the stuff. Brother then tells him that, like, that was a mistake because you can't be doing things like this and not be telling your first wife about it. Then the brother's like, listen, at this stage, I think we're going to have to bring in some elders. And then he mentions an uncle, no auntie, who need to come into it. Sandiso says, no, you know, for him, he doesn't see why the women have to be involved in this. Maybe we can talk to the uncle, but auntie as a woman should not be involved in that. Question mark. Why should women not be involved in this conversation? And this was just a PSA, a public service announcement, guys. Women, we are very wise creatures. You know, they're not healthy, grounded ones, but for the most part. If there are women in your life, in your family, please don't be afraid, guys, as a man, to lean on that wisdom so that people can guide you. Because I don't know what his reasons are, Usandizo's reasons for not wanting his aunt there, but I don't know, it's not making sense to me. Or what? If there's a woman there, then the woman's gonna take Umamkulu's side and he doesn't want to have to deal with that. If there was an avoidant person, the most avoidant person in the world, Kieda or the Sandiso, I'm still trying to figure him out and his motivations. Like, is it just avoiding conflict? Is it really just because you're a liar, pants on fire? Is it cowardice? I don't know what's going on here. But like, and I'm sorry to say this, but it must be said, this is a great case study, I think, of somebody running around playing at being a man. Because these actions, for me, are just, as far as his character, like, you're lying to everybody. And then when you come to the brother and you ask for advice, and brother tells you, Uguti, we need to call in the elders here because this is a situation. Sandiso doesn't want to hear anything about it. Sandiso then says, I shouldn't have even come here because now you're just criticizing me when I was looking for advice, i.e., I don't like the things that you're telling me because I don't know what advice he was looking for that was going to help him, with a way forward that didn't require him, number one, to be accountable to somebody outside of himself, to be accountable to his elders and his family members. And now that his brother is telling him that this is the protocol and this is what we need to do because this is also above me as your brother, doesn't want to hear it. Sandy so lashes out, tells the brother that you haven't even been married. You don't even know about these things. I should never have come to you. Yet and still, we're going to go back to what you said as you were walking through his yard, was that you came to your brother for advice. So now that he's giving you the advice that you don't want to hear, now you're going to slaza him and tell him that he's not qualified actually because he's never been married and the truth hurts. He shouldn't be upset. This was a very disappointing Sandiso storyline for me and his behavior because when you look at him, sweet Konyani Amudimu, this is a case study for all of us. Guys, I've learned and I'm still learning in my life. Some of those guys that you see really sweet, and I'll even say it for girls too, because both quiet, both sweet, we went to school with them. We know some of them. These skeletons. Mihwa. Yabona. Worst. But because they're quiet, we think, oh no, he would never. Sandiso looks like just sweet somebody, Wamudim. All around will not accept responsibility and take accountability for the things that he's done wrong. I don't know how he's actually planning to get, like, what's going to happen here in this storyline. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know because, guys, I don't know. Pindi Lekil. Anyway, we've come to the end of our review for episode 2. And thank you so much if you made it to the end of this episode. Tell me your thoughts, guys, because now I was just confused, perplexed. Storyline ya Sandiso ukuthi what is the plan here? Even his brother just told him, then go. You don't want my advice? Go away. Go then. Go with your wives and go figure it out yourself. And I don't know how this person is going to figure it out. But it's going to be fireworks and explosions. And unfortunately, there are lots of people who are going to be getting hurt in this storyline. But it was a good episode. They gave us what they needed to give. Mnakwethu Happily Ever After. Question mark is still coming with the fire and the heat, and I'm enjoying it. Please let me know what you thought in the comment section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell button. And continue, my darlings, to go out and spread love, not hate, from Ragadi. Peace.